Can I kick it? Can I kick it?
Maybe hang on the couch for a minute. How you been? What's up? How's it living? I wanna know, man.
Can I kick it?
Big thoughts, little talk, kicking it. What it was.
Hey guys, Alex Ray here again with Can I Kick It? This is episode 22 with my friends WAYDOWN, Jimmy Wilkins
What's up?
in the leather jacket, and Keenan Delph.
How's it going, guys?
Two talented young men that I happened to become friends with recently. And then, like we were saying earlier, Jimmy, me and you knew all the same people.
Yeah, like
And-
our circles just kind of
Yeah, I mean,
intertwined.
you know, like Leaving Knox and Memory Motel, and you actually played with those guys before, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
We actually we all started the band Leaving Knox together, and we wanted to take it to the next level, you know, and had some opportunities down in Tennessee and got the ball rolling, you know, and
Yeah, what can you tell me about your history in the music business? Like,
Well-
where did it all start for you?
okay, so my whole family, like, we're a line of musicians. My mom plays bass, my dad sings, my brother plays guitar.
Lady bass player. That's
Yeah,
not
it's really
common
cool.
at all.
Yeah, no, not really.
Actually, whenever my mom was pregnant with me, like, she would go and play gigs, and she said, like, you know, whenever I started the show, like, she'd be playing bass, and she could feel me kicking her in the stomach.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Well, I can't think of a better instrument to cut through the amniotic fluid.
It's probably why
Right.
I love music so much.
Yeah, I guarantee it is, because I just been around it.
Yeah, there's something to be said about like implicit stimuli to a developing baby.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But also, like for a young person, you know, like the environment that they're raised in. So on that same note, like what can you guys tell me about the environments that you grew up with? What about, let's go to you, Keenan.
I grew up. My dad was in a band. He was in a band called Almost Noah back in the '90s. They were really big in Louisville area
Okay.
and Indianapolis as well. And I always remember, you know, sitting down in my basement and watching him and his band practice, and it always inspired me. I was like, man, that's really cool. I want to do music in some sort, whether it's singing, you know, dancing. And I grew up around a lot of that, and he introduced me to a lot of bands that I really like nowadays. And eventually I just got into singing, and it stuck.
Yeah, you have a really impressive voice.
Thank
I
you.
think Jimmy can agree.
Oh, yeah.
That's like you can change notes. I don't know the terminology for that, but you have a really impressive voice. How did you get to that point? Was it most of it natural? Was it a little bit of both?
I wasn't always the best, but I knew I wanted to sing, and I knew I could do it. And I just kept at it. I had a few lessons along the way. Not really many, but all in all, I just really worked with myself. And you know, I'm my own worst critic when it comes to me singing. So
That's how it has to be
yeah,
sometimes.
and I just practiced until one day I started getting better, and then I picked up the guitar, and then it kind of just fell together.
Yeah. So how did you meet Jimmy?
Well, actually, whenever me and Tyler Bynum, like, got together, and because he had a studio, and like I seen him,
Tyler's a whiz. Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
very good at audio engineering
Yeah,
and recording.
absolutely.
And actually Jared Lee was the one that introduced me to Tyler. And we all just kind of would sit around and jam in the studio, and we just started talking and all decided to kind of, you know, try something and form a band. And so me and Tyler was both searching out singers and stuff, you know, and I had come across him on Facebook. I think maybe one of my friends shared one of his posts.
There's a positive story from social media.
Yeah.
They're not all bad.
Yeah, no.
And I reached out to him, you know, and he was doing his own thing at the time, and then I got introduced to Austin, and we just, you know, we all clicked and just ran with that. And then then things didn't end up working out with me and Leaving Knox, you know.
Yeah.
And stepped down, and I just had a lot of things that I had to focus on, you know,
Yeah.
as far as myself. But yeah, so I did that. I got a job and started getting my life and everything together, and wanted to do a band again. And I remembered him. So
Yeah, it's weird how, I don't know what to call it, inspiration maybe. Like there are times in your life when you have hella drive and hella motivation, and you're practicing all the time. The passion's there, and then for whatever reason, sometimes it's external stuff, sometimes it's internal stuff, but it just kind of goes away.
Yeah.
Like I have that struggle a lot when I'm working on different things. What can you say about like what's different now that you guys are playing music that has made this the time that you come out with this band? Is it timing, or is it you kind of feel like you know who you are now?
Me and Jimmy have always had a really good chemistry. When we play music.
When I sat down with you guys at that jam
And
session,
we
absolutely.
always, there would be some times where we wouldn't talk for a while, and we didn't play music. We had a band previously, and it didn't work out too well. But me and Jimmy both talked, and we both decided like, hey, this is what we want to do. We want to do it together.
Let's do this.
And let's do this. Let's go full into it, and don't look back. Because whether we get knocked down or not, because this industry, you're going to get knocked down, and you're going to get built up.
Well, if you don't get knocked down, you wouldn't know what was authentic and
Absolutely.
what wasn't. You can count on honesty in this industry, but it's never direct.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. As an outsider observing, or like being involved in concert promotion and stuff like that. Like, if people don't like you, they just won't say anything. They're not there. They just kind of disappear.
Yeah.
Let's define clearly for the audience, like what are your roles in the band? Jimmy, you're a multi-instrument musician, right?
Yeah.
Like you're
Plays everything.
drummer, piano. You picked up my mandolin and just started fucking going to town.
Yeah.
You showed me a few things though. You just explained it as like it's a guitar that's turned around.
Yeah,
So
well,
that really helped me a lot.
It's the same as a violin, really, but I am terrible at playing violin.
I wish I could play violin, man.
So, what are your roles in the band? Like, have you guys talked about your specific roles, or
No.
Walk us through a typical jam session when you guys are writing music. Do you come up with the lyrics, or is it a mixed bag?
We kind of just feed off of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be sitting there playing something, and I'll be like, "Hey, play that again.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Ooh.
I can come up with some lyrics for that."
Yeah.
And then, or like, "Hey, let's add this to that," and we just kind of go off from there.
When you're writing lyrics, because I've talked to a lot of different songwriters, and everyone has a completely different way that they come up with lyrics. Do you find the melody first of the words that you want to sing, or do you look for a specific phrase? Like for the Way Down song, for example, can you tell us about where that came from?
Way down, I was sitting there jamming around, and this is how I wrote most of my songs. It just kind of comes to me, and I freestyle a lot.
Yeah,
'Cause I feel like that
yeah.
helps my vocabulary and to think on spot. And Way Down just kind of, I wrote the chorus first, and it just kind of came to me, and I was like, man, this is really catchy. So I kind of go from there. And sometimes it doesn't stick. Sometimes I get sick of it real quick, and I'm like,
Yeah,
no.
there's something to be said about writing a song like you're all jazzed about it at first, and then it's kind of like hearing the shit on the radio too many times. You're like, man, I'm fucking sick.
You kind of just put it on the back burner. But I mean, sometimes
Yeah, I have a
Here's
little mental catalog of
Yeah.
like songs that you played with, and then something happens in your life that brings that feeling back.
yeah, like
you
years
know?
down the road, I'll look back and be like, hey, that's actually a pretty good song, and then write more to it.
And then Jimmy comes in with like, oh, I know exactly what to do on this.
Yeah, he comes in with some killer solos.
Yes. So what do you, like, on a more broad, like, perspective, what do you get out of doing this other than the obvious? Like, out of making music, I mean.
Out of making music,
Yeah.
I want people to relate, because I feel like us as humans, we go through a lot of the same things in life, just at different points.
Yeah.
So I want to, express what I go through that maybe some other people are going through at the same time.
Do you want to be understood and heard?
Yeah.
What is that like when you connect with the crowd? Because I know you've done this before, Jimmy, right? Where you're connecting with the audience and there's a feeling, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a high.
It makes that show that much better.
Yeah.
There's an energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. How would you describe that energy?
Well, I mean, everything has a certain frequency and a certain vibration, And I think that's the main reason why music is such a universal language, because everybody perceives like frequencies, like even just whenever we're talking, we're emitting a certain frequency and a vocal vibration, and your ears are picking it up and perceiving that. So, and
like a
I just
language.
think that's why it's such a universal language, is because, I mean, everybody has that, you know?
Absolutely.
Like, we all understand that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny a certain, because there's such a thing as a guilty pleasure song. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like I love that Miley Cyrus song, "Rockin' in the USA" or
Okay.
whatever. I
Catchy.
don't want to like it.
But it's
You know,
catchy.
but-
But damn it, I do.
Straight into, you're like,
Well,
and,
some of those songs, though, like, they specifically go in there and design it that way.
Yeah.
Like, they design a verse to be catchy, and they design the chorus to be catchy. Like, in that way, like, even if you're not paying attention to it, like, you're subconsciously listening to this. And
Yeah.
it's you know, being...
it's in there.
Yeah.
There's almost a formula, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How much do you guys hope to? I know you haven't written a whole lot of songs yet, but how much do you all hope to innovate versus established formulas? Do you know what I'm asking? Like, do you want to do something
I
new?
see. Yeah.
Do you want to be innovative?
Break
And-
away from the mold.
Right. And like inside of that question, I have a second question. Like, how important is it to push the envelope with music to you? Like, how much is, like, by which I mean pop music has an established formula. It's well known. You know you're going to get hits if it goes on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have bands like Nirvana who come along
Yep.
and completely change the paradigm.
Yeah,
It's because-
absolutely.
I believe music, it rolls in almost like a wave. Like, it has its ups and downs, you know.
Yeah.
And I think right now is such a vital opportunity for, like, bands that are creating something unique and different to really kind of push yourselves out there. You know, that's dude, I really love the fact of what you guys are doing, because you're giving artists a platform around here to not only, like, share what they're about
Yeah.
and how they feel, but to connect with each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the main substrate for this fungus. You know, is we're trying to make the substrate so that different life forms
Mhm.
can get in the same substrate and grow together as an organism. Like those,
Fungus.
I think about it like those trees that are all connected up in the redwoods. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Underneath the ground, there's
Yep.
like this giant network of fungus, and I feel like
Fungus,
we're all
yep.
connected at a super subconscious soul level, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I feel like whatever's going on in society these days, maybe it's the rat race, whatever it is, art's the one thing that's a superconductor for all of our energies to come into the same network. And for whatever reason, we're getting away from that these days, and it's a lot of different reasons, I think. But by doing the podcast, and making short films and doing all these different things, I hope to bring people into a place where we're not chasing money.
Mm-hmm.
We're chasing the feeling.
The
We want to help
passion.
people grow as artists.
Yeah, and I want
Yeah.
them, and it seems like with art, you can do it solo.
Oh yeah, for
You,
sure.
you can do it by yourself if you need to, but the reason you're doing it is to connect with people
Yeah.
in the end.
Yep.
So, where do you guys see this band going? How big do you want to get? Do you want to get out of this area and play shows nationwide, or are you hoping to be local? What's
We're
the
just
what's
kind
the
of going
dream?
with the flow at this point. I
Right.
mean, you know, like I said, we're in the studio, we're writing songs. That's our main priority right now, is getting
Yeah.
some songs down, get them recorded. We want to play some shows. You know, we did some cover shows at bars a lot, but we're kind of over that. You know, that scene.
Yeah.
We want to get out there. We want to get our originals
Been
out
there,
there.
done that.
Yeah. And just see where it takes us. I mean, if we get big, that'd be awesome. But in all reality, that's not my main goal. My main goal is, you know, to express my feelings, tell a story, and, you know, just entertain people. And
Yeah.
I really want to be playing at festivals. That's the best scene.
I want to throw a
love it.
festival.
Yeah.
For like basically no profit. All the profit that I would get, just so everybody that's watching this knows, if you're an artist and you want to get involved to help me make a festival, there has to be a profit to put on the show again the next year and pay the bands and pay the staff. But ultimately, I don't want to make a dime. I just want to facilitate something memorable.
Yeah.
And so, back to what we were talking about. You guys both have a background in history for a while, right? Or in music.
Mm-hmm.
can you tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that you faced? Jimmy, we'll start with you since you toured with a band, right?
Yeah.
What was there ever a time where you ran into something that almost made you want to be done with music, the industry?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that goes on behind the scenes,
Right.
and
I'm trying to get this out to the younger musicians or people that are watching this, trying to understand
there's a
what
lot
they're up against.
Yeah, there's just a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes, just like anything in life, you know. Like, you know, talking about goals, I think the first thing is as an artist, you have to kind of be honest with what your goals are, you know. But yeah,
Which means being honest with yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
like, am I in this for what I consider to be the right reasons? You know, like a lot of guys pick up a guitar to impress girls and be cool.
Yeah.
Which is, there's nothing wrong with that.
no.
But it also, I think, authenticity comes across whether you know it or not. And that's what I felt when I was jamming with you guys. That when the first time I met you, Kenan, I felt authenticity. And do you think you went into the music industry with a certain naivety? Like,
No.
did you get blindsided? Because both your families were involved in music, so you had a taste of what it was like before then.
Me going into the music industry, I honestly, and this is just me being completely transparent, I thought I was going to be big.
Yeah.
And then I got a taste of reality, and I
Yeah.
got a taste of the industry, and that's not the case at all. You know, it like I said earlier, it's a rough industry. And
Why wasn't it the case? That's a good question. What knocked you on the head that you didn't see coming?
I tried out for like American Idol. I did The Voice, and I didn't make it, unfortunately.
Was it just the raw talent you were up against? Is that
A lot of it was
kinda
I didn't
shocked
fit
you?
a lot of their narratives.
Oh,
their-
yeah.
their
And
creative
there you go.
aspects. Yeah.
Now, there's a topic.
Yep.
This mold that they've created. And they have a certain, I say they, but I don't really have a name to put on that.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
The man. They have a narrative, like you said, Jimmy, that's pre-established. Why do you think that narrative is the way it is?
Because it sells.
Yeah, but they're also, but I feel you're right, but I feel like they're pushing a narrative that it's cookie cutter. It's why are they pushing that cookie cutter? It sells, but they're also creating what sells. They're creating the fads and the trends, and then selling the stuff that fits that mold.
Well,
How do they have control of both?
we were actually talking about this earlier, and like whenever you kind of dig into who writes, like the songwriters,
Yeah.
okay, is where it's at, and whenever you realize where the song, like who the songwriters are, you kind of get to see like, okay, all of the like top songs are written by the same people.
There you go. So they're catering to their own skill set.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow, I never really thought about that before.
Yep.
What do you guys? What are you working on right now?
Oh,
Do you have it for the album? Are you working on an album, an LP?
We are working on an EP right now, and
Is it self-titled?
it does not have a title yet. Actually,
Good. All right, cool.
It's untitled.
Are you guys open to taking suggestions from the audience if they send you?
Absolutely,
Uh-huh.
absolutely.
That would be super cool.
Yeah. I'm always, that's the thing about when it comes to music with me. I'm always open to ideas, especially when we're playing music. I don't want to limit ourselves to one genre. Like
Okay.
if we write a rock song and it sounds good, we'll play that. If we write a reggae song and it sounds good, we'll play that.
So I noticed. So we're about to have a break, and then we'll come back, and you guys are gonna do live performance, right?
Yeah,
Okay. What are you gonna be playing?
we're gonna be playing "Way Down," which is gonna be released on Spotify June 3rd.
Awesome.
There we go.
Okay, we have some good stuff coming up. All right, guys, we'll be right back with WAYDOWN after their live performance here in the studio. Be right back.
Most middle-aged men go out and buy themselves a sports car. But these guys against all odds take up arms in a city full of corruption. You will laugh until you hurt as this bumbling quartet of superheroes get themselves caught up in a web of drugs, crime, and all-around hysteria.
I'm not the bad guy here.
This is the story of four middle-aged men that go from zeros to heroes. Midlife crisis coming soon.
Have a nice day, Mr. Puppet.
Hey guys, I hope you're ready for a stellar performance. Jimmy Wilkins, Keenan Delph, self-titled song, Way Down, coming out June 3rd on Spotify. Take it away, fellas.
Way down, way down, underneath the sea. You see me, we go, way down, way down. This I'd rather be. Oh no, with you right next to me. Yeah, I'm just living my life. I hope to God that I'm doing it right, 'cause tomorrow's never promised to me. Tomorrow's never promised to be. Oh, this is my special place, living in the islands of Exay, with a beer in my head and my feet in the sand. The winds are dragging me down again. We go way down, way down, way down, underneath the sea. Place I'd rather be. Oh no, with you right next to me. Way down, to come a little closer to me. You know we've got the whole world to see. Way down, way down underneath. Way down, the place where we can be free. Yeah, we go way down, way down, way down, underneath the sea. You see me, we go way down, way down, way down. The place I'd rather be. Oh no, with you right next to me. 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 Whoa, with you right next to me.
Wow. Goosebumps, man. For real.
Thank you.
That's even better than online. The little clip that I heard. You guys really got to keep this going, and I believe in you.
Thank
Dead
you.
serious,
I
man.
appreciate it.
Just the solid vibes. The vibes from that are just peaceful. I think you're bringing something to the table that a lot of other bands aren't doing right now, which is peace. I mean, there's peace in your
All about that
music.
love.
Yeah, there's apparent love in what you're doing, and then you guys are obviously connected on a deep level. Man, I forgot what we were even supposed to talk about. Oh, I guess there's an obvious influence from your past in this music, Keenan, as the lyric writer, where you were down at the islands. But what can you guys tell me about your past influences, like by way of an amazing concert experience or experiences that kind of shaped, like, you ever see a band that you really love and you're like, man, I want to play like that? And
Yeah.
who is that for you and you?
Who is that for me? I would have to say Banky Banks was a big mentor for me and this is down in the islands.
Yeah.
And I always watched him when I was a kid. Just, he got up on stage and made everybody feel good. He goes, we're here to have a good time, and just played some reggae music, and I dug it. I was like, I love this vibe. And I wanted to make other people feel like that.
Most middle-aged men go out and buy themselves a sports car, but these guys install lots, take up arms in a city full of corruption. You will laugh until you hurt as this bumbling quartet of superheroes get themselves caught up in a web of drugs, crime, and all-around hysteria.
I'm not the bad guy here.
This is the story of 4 middle-aged men that go from zeros to heroes. Midlife crisis coming soon.
Have a nice day, Mr. Puppet.
Bullshit.
Hey guys, welcome back. Me and the guys still. We were getting into before break and before you guys played that fucking amazing song. Influences like Jimmy in your past, it hasn't really been ska influenced, has it?
No.
I mean,
other than like Sublime, you know.
Right.
But other than that, no. Really, I come from a rock background, and blues, a lot of blues, you know. And it's really something. It's a great opportunity. The fact that like he's completely like, not really the opposite of what I'm into, but it's a different spectrum, and it's interesting, like somebody from an outside genre coming in and collaborating with somebody who's into your style, which is so unique and so different, and I find it a lot of fun.
He's adapted well to it as well.
Yeah, I mean, what are the technical differences in reggae, ska, than regular rock like you're used to playing?
I guess the format of the music and how it drives.
The timing's a lot different.
Yeah.
Too.
What is the timing for most reggae? I don't know much about the nomenclature and stuff.
A lot of it's like 4 on the floor, but you got a lot of, so like with music, you have like a timing signature, and a lot of it's like 4/4 timing,
Right.
and you know what that is. You just count
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
3, 4. There's a measure. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is ska like in the threes?
It's
Like a waltz kind of?
It's got that 4/4, but where it's not like the a basic drum beat. So it
Okay.
almost like takes it and like switches it on you. Whereas like the snares coming in on like the downbeat rather
High-low.
than the
The
bass
high-low
drum.
dynamic.
It takes some time to get used to because it's just a different, especially with me singing and playing guitar. It definitely can get a little confusing sometimes. I'll be like, oh, where am I at here?
There's definitely times for dark, like deep music, like Deftones and Tool, for just a example everybody would know. I do too, man. But Jimmy, I mean, I know you have a history with a little bit of depression.
Yeah.
Not to put you on the spot.
Oh, it's all good.
It probably makes you a better musician. And I know you've probably had your struggles too.
Oh, yeah.
This music brings a light element. I mean, like, do you see, me and Chris were talking about this earlier, is there such a thing as dark ska? And is that something that you see yourself doing maybe?
That's interesting.
That's
interesting.
right. Me and Chris were talking about it, and I was like, that'd be fucking cool. Cause
That would be
It could be a thing.
I mean, look at your clothes. You're wearing all black, and he's wearing a blue jacket, so there's like a contrast.
I mean, that would be.
There's a dynamic here.
Yeah.
Are you guys thinking about maybe bringing someone else in the band, like me, for example? I'm joking. I'll definitely be there. But what do you guys have plans to expand the band? Maybe get some horns or?
At first we did, and then me and Jimmy kind of discussed it, and I was like, why don't we just do me and you for
Yeah.
a while?
You can
Get
count
in the
on that.
studio, write
Yeah.
these songs, record them, and then when the time comes, just
Collabs.
Collab.
Yep.
Find some other musicians to come play with us. Because, nowadays it's really hard to find a lot of musicians that are dedicated and want to do it. Because, like I said, the industry is so intimidating that people don't want to get out there and do it. And to a lot of musicians that want to play music, you definitely should. It's therapy to me. I love making people feel good. You're going to get brought down, but you just got to build yourself back up and keep going and keep getting out there and gigging, writing, and somebody will hear you.
Yeah, man. I played freestyle busking. That's what I did. And for those who don't know, busking is where you sit out there with your guitar case open, play guitar. I was really strung out on drugs, so I would open my guitar case and just make shit up. Sometimes I'd like rob a melody off of a song. And that was not intimidating, and this is why, because who cares? You're out there, they either give you money or they don't, they can leave if they want.
Right.
But the way that you guys are approaching it now is vulnerable. Like, to put your music out there. And how much do you see, how much do you have problems, Jimmy and Keenan, with judgment? Like confidence, like, if somebody tells you like, man, I don't like their stuff, how hard does that hit you now?
I take everything with a grain of salt. You know, there are obviously going to be people that don't like our music. There's going to be people that love our music. You know, we're here to play music and have fun. If you don't like it, that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
there's that's why there's different genres. There's always something for everybody. But yeah, judgment can be hard sometimes. You know, it's not an easy thing to take.
I go to the bathroom and cry.
I do too, dude, for real.
No, for real. Like sometimes it all depends on what mindset you're in and
Yeah.
like who says it. You know, but
Absolutely.
there's always something to take away from criticism. You know, there's really always something to take away because like I don't know. I mean, somebody may see something that you're not able to really focus on or don't notice. You know, so
We're incapable of seeing.
Yeah,
you know, like
Right,
some.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess the reason I ask is because there's been a few times where I went to play with a potential band, and they politely like were, you know, we'll talk to you later, and then you don't hear from them, and that really put a dent in my confidence. And I don't know about you guys, but when I'm writing music, it's extremely attached to my emotions. Like I'd say more so than most people, from what I've gathered. And like when you take a knock like that, it really kills your drive. I mean, Jimmy, I know you had some experiences in the past with, like you were in with the traveling band, right? Mm-hmm. And then you kind of basically got kicked out, right?
yeah. I mean,
And it wasn't from talent. I know that much.
no, and there's a lot of factors that are involved
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I mean, you know, it's like a marriage, and
Yeah.
obviously it's hard to keep everybody happy, and people are gonna have their indifferences, you know.
Absolutely.
But it really does. It hurts, man. Like
Yeah.
basically, whenever you're kind of made to feel like you're not good enough.
Yeah.
Like I don't approach music like that. Like I love collaborating with people and like just jamming with anybody. Like
It doesn't matter if you're playing the
what
fucking
level.
maracas, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
it's just jamming music and having fun.
It doesn't matter what level. I mean, it's all about that collaboration and that unity. You know, like would you guys would it be more fun for you guys to be doing this podcast by yourself?
Yeah.
Or is it
That's
a lot more fun?
that would eliminate the
bringing-
purpose for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm here, like, the cool thing about podcasting for me, and I think Joe Rogan said this like 8,000 times, is that you get, like, I'm the kind of guy who likes to dabble in a lot of different things, like so many different things. And after a while, I get sick of something. So with the podcast, it's still one thing, but it's consistently varied. Like I'm with you guys. Yeah, I do a lot of music podcasts with different bands, and I get to know different styles and approaches. But then also I talk to a guy that started a philosophy store on Main Street, or the guy that started a sex cult.
Yeah.
So I'm getting these
Yep.
like crazy fucking
You got a variety of things,
angles,
yeah.
and I'm basically like a specialist in variety, and like find the common denominator in all these things. It's kind of like the same reason you listen to a lot of different types of music. You know, the other day I was listening to Toby Keith, and like it's straight up country, but I got a lot out of it. Makes me feel a certain way. It's attached to nostalgia.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so you guys are gonna play another song for us, right, to take us out?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and have you guys play another song to take us out. It's been really fucking great rapping
Absolutely.
with
Thank
you.
you for having
I
us.
can't wait
Appreciate
to
this.
see where you guys are going. Jimmy, you have a giant heart. Keenan, you obviously do too. If you ever need fucking anything, you get a hold of me. Guys, check them out. The WAYDOWN, taking us out with one more song. Dune.
Yes, Dune.
Song's called Dune. Doing your best.
Let's go ahead and put your mic on.
Right.
half past noon when the sun is high. I got this feeling of love inside. Just step right in if you're ready for the ride. When the sun goes down at night, the people were chilling, we're grooving, we're feeling the vibe. We're feeling the vibe. Just grab a fresh axe of brew if you knew what was good for you. Feeling the sun beating down, and I need something to drown it out. So how about this song? How about the waves that are crashing in and again, in and again? But when the sun goes down at night, the people we're chilling, we're grooving, we're feeling the vibe. We're feeling the vibe.
Yeah. Awesome, dude. I'm so excited to see where you guys take this.
Thank you.
Well, like I said, June 3rd, right?
Yes.
June
June
3rd.
3rd, way down.
EP coming out, or LP or whatever. And really keep an eye on these guys, man. They're going places. I love y'all.
Love you too, brother.
Keep the vibes real and peaceful.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'll ride the wave with you. All right,
Thank you
guys,
for having
thanks
us.
for watching Can I Kick It? Is there anything you guys want to plug real quick before we go off?
Nothing that I can think of.
Go follow Way Down on Facebook.
Yeah, please do. All right, guys, we'll see you on episode 23. Peace.
Yeah.